Twiggy is short and adorable. And kind of like me, I would say I'm tall and adorable, so we're close. We're very close to one another in that regard. And she has berries on her like guard outfit. It's pretty cute. She's a sweetheart. Kids, when you go see Gabby's Dollhouse in theaters, we want you to get up off your feet, sing the songs, dance, laugh with the person next to you, jump up and down. Show adults how movie watching is actually supposed to go. It's supposed to get into it. It's an experience. And so it's not just a thing you go watch and eat your popcorn. We're going to get up. We're going to have a good time. It's a party. It's meant to be a special time.
Her grandmother created something so incredibly special for her to continue to play. And I love that Gigi continues to play. She's super cool. She's bohemian. There's a lot of me in Gigi. I really identified with her when I read the script and saw the stuff that she did. And it was really special because I saw myself in it. You absolutely have to prep for any role you do. Like, I already had an in, because I'm a grandma. So it's not like I had to imagine what a grandma feels like or whatever. That is in me. That the emotional part was very much there. But you have to create the character, and this is a fantasy, so I created a whole backstory for Gigi, that she had been an architect, and that's why she built her own house, but she's a magical architect, so everything that she touches has its own flair. I want to bring that whole dollhouse to life. And Gigi did. Gigi lives in a house that is, the dollhouse is fashioned after Gigi's house, that craft room. Oh my gosh, that's like a dream for any grandma or mom to have a room like that where you could just go in and you have all the, the ribbons, all the little parts. It was magical just being in that room. When I walked in, I already felt like something come to life. So I would love to have that actual little dollhouse. The little cats were so cute. Everything in there was really special. And what I'd really like to have is that VW van that was all decked out. I think it's from the 70s. And that I would love to have with the cat ears and the whole style of it. I'm hoping that the kids, and more specifically their parents, learn from Gigi that you are never too old to play, that we have to keep the child in us alive, and that, that magic never has to go away. You can grow up and be a part of the world, and, there's certain things you have to do when you become an adult, but you don't ever have to let go of fun or play or games or just enjoying time with the people that you love. I hope that both the kids and the parents take that lesson away from this movie. My favorite part when we were shooting was that ride with Gabby in the car, because we were ad-libbing, we were having fun, we were improvising, we were doing crazy things, and that road trip absolutely was my favorite thing to shoot. We laughed a lot, and it was all real, so that was a lot of fun.
Chumsley is Vera's toy who she put in a drawer and forgot about. Imagine being forgotten about for years, for decades even. And then in this movie, allowed to come back to life and play with all the toppers and the boppers and everybody else. So it's pretty much Chumsley's Dollhouse, if you ask me. This is a movie for having fun. So if you're sitting in your seat, being quiet, you're doing it wrong. This is a movie where you get up, you dance. When Gabby asks you a question on screen, you scream the answer in response.
Vera is, I guess the shortest way to describe her, she's the mean cat lady. She plays someone who ends up becoming at odds with Gabby as she has come into possession of the dollhouse. And Vera is someone that, as she's gotten older, has lost her sense of play and joy, and now sees these little cats and the dollhouse as something that she just wants to own. I loved the process of figuring out who Vera was through her costumes. I loved all of them. I wish you could see the tiny little details and just little cat buttons. And I mean, the costumes were incredible. I think if I had to pick my favorite, maybe the first outfit that you see Vera in, because those boots were amazing, and her little like walking stick thing. I felt much more like Vera after doing all those fittings. Marlena was great. I have worked with animals that are more difficult, and she was great. She didn't do a lot. She was very chill, and I think she's one of my great scene partners in my career. My kids, this made me their hero doing this movie. I will never, I can't do anything bad ever because I'm in Gabby's Dollhouse. They are obsessed. They have watched it for a long time. They play with the Legos. They have Gabby's sweatshirts. They are very excited, and they ask me about it all the time. They're really wondering when it's coming out and when they could see it. And even though I've told them when it is, they keep asking me because they're very excited. I love Laila. I think in the show, obviously she's the show, and she's such a huge part of what makes it work and the popularity of the show. And having someone like her with her energy and spirit, especially because she talks to the kids through the camera, there's just something really warm and friendly that just kind of draws you in, and that for sure comes through in the movie. And she's also just like that in real life. Participation is encouraged. You're talking with Gabby, you can sing along, you can you're in the experience. And I think for kids to go to a movie and not have to sit there and be totally quiet and have fun and laugh and point at the screen and sing along, I think that's a really special experience that we don't really get to do anymore. And especially for young kids who haven't ever been to the movies, I think this is the perfect way to have that whole generation of kids just fall in love with going to the theater.
I was a little nervous because, she's like obviously a huge icon in the Latin community, and like my grandma is in love with her. My dad, when he heard that I was gonna be working with Gloria, he was like, oh my God, your whole family is gonna go crazy over this. So I was like a little nervous, but honestly, when I met her, it was like completely fine. It was just, she was so welcoming and had such a warm energy that it didn't make me feel nervous at all. It just felt like I was like, at the end of the show, it really felt like it was like my grandma Gigi, but Grandma Gloria. She was just so fun and had so many stories and was just very welcoming. So I had the most amazing time getting to know her. She's going on a road trip across America to go to Cat Francisco with her grandma Gigi, and that is where Gabby loses the dollhouse. And it's rolling around in the hills of Cat Francisco, and she's trying to find it, but unfortunately it gets taken by Vera, who is this evil but very fashionable cat lady who just wants the Gabby cats as collectibles and doesn't want to play with them. So following that, Gabby goes on a crazy adventure finding the Gabby cats, teaching Vera how to play again, learning about herself and how she can continue to play even if she's getting older. There's a lot of twists and turns. There's a lot of fun songs and dances. So it's the most fun, cool, cat-tastical adventure. For the past 5 years, I've just been recording inside a studio, and I'm the only one there besides, the crew. It's just me in my room, talking to myself, talking to my dolls, my stuffed animals. So having to go outside and then be in public, running around, chasing a dollhouse was very interesting. I won't lie to you, it was a bit nerve-wracking at first, especially because you're trying to focus on doing the scene, but then you feel like all these eyes and cameras of people on the sidelines watching you. And it was a little scary, but what I learned as I went on is that, you just gotta ignore that and just focus on what you're doing. And once I figured out how to do that again, it was just like, it was easy. And then it was at the end of it, like it was cute. Like I would be running and then like a family would see me and they'd be like, "Is that Gabby?" I'm like, "Don't yell because you're gonna ruin the take, but hi." One thing about the show that I think is really nicely carried on to the movie is that Gabby's always looking like directly to camera and talking to the audience. Like they're my friends as well. They're part of Gabby's Dollhouse, like they help us on adventures, they help us find things. So I think keeping that connection alive and, looking to the audience and asking them questions, that's what really gets them. Because it's like, this bigger than ever story where Gabby's outside of her room. There's other people in there. There's all that's going on with the Dollhouse and the Gabby cats. There's new characters. I think it's important that the audience is still involved with that. I mean, Kristen Wiig, obviously being a part of this, and all of these other great cast members from SNL, like, these are some funny people, and they usually do, like, funny stuff for adults. So I think there's a lot of jokes where it's for adults, but it's also stuff that, like, kids are going to enjoy, too. And I think also, whenever you go to a DreamWorks movie, there's always, like, a little something for the both adults and kids, and I think Gabby's Dollhouse does a great job of keeping stuff where it's like kids are gonna find funny, and then parents are also gonna find funny because they like understand it a bit more, but it's like something where we're all laughing together. So there's plenty of moments like that. It's not just for preschoolers, it's for everybody. The theme of the movie is about, the magic of play and how you never have to, at any age you can play. And I think that's kind of universal to a lot of people because it's, kids love to play, and then as they get older, they might think, oh, maybe I shouldn't play anymore. And then adults especially, you see it with Vera, she talks about how she's too grown up to play. And I think this movie is a great reminder to everybody in the audience that, age does not have anything to do with if you want to have fun and you want to play and, enjoy that kind of life more.
Cookie Bobby is a giant plethora of love, and he's just out there to help people. And he's a big cushion, and he's made of candy. He's like maybe the greatest character of all time. This is my first animated movie that I've ever done, so my experience has been amazing. Everyone has been like so sweet, and I don't know, you get to stand in a booth and you get to watch a little animation, you get to play, you get to go big, you get to go small. I don't know, it's an amazing thing, like you're taking a voice and adding it to this character, and like, I don't know, it's a really cool process.
Children are so deeply connected to that imagination of play and this kind of what we call as the magic of play, which I think is a really incredible concept that sort of organically grew out of this this idea of watching my daughter play. And really then the flip side of that was what happens when a kid asks you to come and play with them, and the feeling of being an adult with your phone and your emails and dinner's about to get done. You got to get all these things are happening, and you're like, yeah, sure, hang on, just let me, okay. And you get down on, on the ground and get at that level, and how hard it is as an adult, even for someone like myself who's works in imagination, how hard it can be to dust off all of the things that are happening in your life and get into that world of play. But kids can turn it on in an instant. And so that was like super intriguing to me as just a concept for the film that, Gabby is very much that youthful world of play. She pinches her ears, she shrinks into the dollhouse, everything becomes magical and alive. It's vibrant, it's colorful. And, the counter to that is Vera, who's someone who is an adult and has sort of lost that connection with play. It still exists inside her, but it's really up to Gabby to kind of, unshell it and find it and get her back to a place, where we all know we're happiest when we're carefree and we're imaginative and playing. She's a legend, she's a national like a legitimate national treasure, and we were so lucky that she said yes to this role, and then watching her and Laila bond was amazing because the two of them just really, really got along. I could tell there was so much love, and Gloria really just, I could see her, caring for Laila and looking after her and like in between takes and the way that they would laugh with each other. Laila is incredible. She is just as bright of a star as you can imagine, and as big as she seems. When you watch her on TV, in person, she is just like a radiant, wonderful young woman. She's so she's intelligent. She's so bright and positive. Obviously, she's got that incredible smile. She's just so warm, you see why it works. You see why kids really react to her because she's just so inviting. And I think there's something about her that just makes you feel like automatically you're her friend. I think there are some people that just have that natural quality where it's like you meet them and you just feel like, yeah, I've known you. We know each other. And so that's Laila to a T. I think she's just got such a warmth and such a positive outlook on life that it just is infectious. So, and it reaches through the camera, out to the kids at home. And I think that's awesome. That's why so many, Gabby's Dollhouse would not be the success that it is without Laila Lockhart Kraner. It's so awesome to give kids license to shout back at the screen and to sing along and to clap and to get up out of their seats if they need to. That's pretty awesome. For a young audience, I think they're going to be incredibly entertained. I think that we have a great sense of the movement of the film and how much interaction to get them involved, when to get into the story and the important emotional moments, and then when to say, hey, it's okay to clap and snap and shake with us and all of that stuff. So I think it's a pretty special experience, and I think that parents won't feel that sensitivity of okay, calm down, or you don't do that. It's going to be no, right from the beginning, go ahead and talk to us, we're okay. And it's really fun to sit in a theater and just watch kids interact and be natural. They're not going to the theater with all these, years of okay, put away your cell phones and be quiet. They're coming to the theater with this is going to be fun and let's make it fun. So I think we've really done that. I did feel like it was important to add all of these elements of adventure, things that kids aren't seeing necessarily in the show. There are some challenging themes. There's some moments of sadness. There's moments where kids could get a little scared. It's not a lot scared, but it's a little scared. Let's just we're working in small amounts. The action, there's some big action, but they're on top of a donut sliding down a frosted hill of cake. So it's all of the things are really balanced out. These giant worms, which would be totally scary if they weren't made out of gummy worms, they're gummy worms, giant gummy worms, pretty fun stuff.
I embraced it as a learning experience. But, keeping in mind, that I need to make sure that Ryan's vision gets to screen and be protective of that and protect that vision. And then everything else, you hire all the best people. Catchlight Films did an amazing job with the live action. We couldn't have done it without them. And we're all on this learning experience together, from me all the way to the president of the company. We're all, we all bought into it. We all, yes, this is the very first one, but we can do it, and we can do it well. I couldn't be prouder of this film and the way it looks. It's a very tactile thing. It's unlike anything else that I can think of, where you can watch a movie and such detail is put into the textures and the fur and the lighting and just the camera work. It feels like you could literally just reach in through the screen and pick up any of those characters, like you're there playing. It's by design. We had a great, production designer, Marcello Vignali, and, our art director Ellen Jen really were bought into that. Like, how do we make this feel like, that you're in a playset, and elevated at the same time. Like, this stands up there with some of the bigger budget animated films. It really does. I can't watch the Aquarium musical number without tearing up. I've never seen anything like it. And Gabby starts that song with, "Come sing and dance with us." And you're like, yeah. And, in every test screening we're in, everyone's like snapping and clapping and they buy into it every time. And that just, even just saying that gives me goosebumps. The thought of this being a kid's first movie brings me so much joy. Wow. I mean, it's not something I imagined would happen to me in my career. So it's exciting.
To me, it's Matthew is really just me doing an impression of someone who didn't exist yet. And then I got to see his little face. But when I started to do it, I just tried to turn my face into that little face. The little face of, he's got a real specific kind of thing. So, and it was fun because Ryan Crego, the director, while I'm doing the character right here, Ryan's standing just about right there, which is about 2 feet away. Actually, eerily close, almost too close. But so we just got to try a lot of stuff. But once you start to feel like you look and like you sound like the person, it can be. That's really everything to it. Matthew is a little garden creature, part acorn, part soldier. But what Matthew sort of embodies is he is playing, sort of the guard to the queen. And he takes his play very seriously, which I think is one of the sort of the themes of the film, is being serious about not forgetting to stay playful and playing games with your entire heart.